Going live. You're live. All right. Okay. Let me straighten things out, though. There we go. Now we're straight. Okay. Well, you'd think we'd have a handle on this by now, wouldn't you? There we go. How about that? All right. We're live. Hey, welcome. This is Mark coming to you from Baker's Green Acres here in lovely northern Michigan. We got a little bit different format going, and I'm informed. Jill just told me that we were using Stream before, and now we're using, what is this called?
Just going direct onto YouTube.
All right, we're just going direct onto YouTube. The other way with Restream, it was going on Rumble as well. I don't know. But that other Restream costs $25 a month to do, believe it or not. So we're on this, and it doesn't cost us anything. But yeah, it seems to work better. A better picture. It takes a little while to load, but we're getting used to it. So today's April 1st, April Fool's Day. I didn't pull one joke today, not one. And I love April Fool's Day, but I just didn't get to it today. I was busy with other stuff. Very busy day. Had a lot going. I've had a lot going this week, a lot going this month, a lot going this year, and loving every minute of it. I have titled this tonight, Team. And I want to get into that in a minute. But I have something to share with you, sort of like a product review. But I don't get paid by any of these companies to do product reviews. I got nothing against it. I've just never pursued it. But I come across things from time to time. And if I think they're good, then I want to share them with you. Now, the other day, this might be coincidence, might be. I was rolling into Cadillac. I was going to Spears, actually, Spears Auto, for something. And on the way there, I'm thinking, oh, I got to remember to ask John about this. And I never said it. I was just thinking it. And I was thinking, is there a wireless set of lights, trailer lights? Do they make wireless lights? And for a long time, I've thought I would like to build a set of wireless lights that I can control from the cab. And when I'm pulling something that doesn't have lights on it or doesn't have good lights on it, I could just put some lights on it and make it work. Now, they have them where you can put the lights on. They're temporary. They even have magnetic bases. But then you have to take the wire set all the way to the front and plug it in on the truck. Okay, I have a set of those, and they're okay. They're good. But they are a bit cumbersome, and they are subject to all the things that make trailer lights not work good. And that's like the weather and salt on the roads, and they'll work this year, but then when you put them on, all of a sudden they don't work, and you got to troubleshoot them, just like you would have to troubleshoot the lights on the trailer, right? And you know how that can go. So I have 5 trailers here. 5 trailers. Trailers are good things, right? They're multi-use pieces of equipment. And here in Michigan, we can get one plate that says a permanent trailer plate. And it's supposed to stay with that trailer, but I don't think anybody really cares if we move them from trailer to trailer. So I have 2 permanent trailer plates from trailer to trailer. I do it all the time. I don't think anybody really cares. But I came across this. So anyway, I'm thinking about that as I'm rolling into town. And later that day, it showed up on my news feed these lights, and I'm going to show you these. Maybe it was just coincidence, but maybe they have the cell phones down now where they can actually read your mind. It wouldn't surprise me, it would not surprise me. But here they are, right? Comes in this really nifty carrying case. And what you do is you plug this in to the vehicle. Now, maybe people have seen this. That's the first time I've seen it. You plug this into the receptacle on the truck. And this is the same plug that you would normally have a wire coming out. But this is not that. It is a transmitter. See, it's got a little antenna on it. I wonder if that's real or just for looks. Who knows? But so we found them at Harbor Freight, same one, $130. But then online, we could find them everywhere from $29 up to $179. And every single time, every ad showed the same box with the same, everything on it. It looked the same. So I don't do the ordering around here. Jill does. And so I told her what I thought we ought to try. And so she went and she ordered one that was middle of the road, sort of, and it was on Amazon. So it's not on one of those slow boats from China, So it came, and I looked it over, and it's pretty solid looking, and it feels pretty solid. I'll show you what the lights look like. That's the light. It's pretty heavy, it looks like it's built pretty well to me. And it's two pieces. So you take this piece off, and that's actually the magnet. So this will stick to a trailer fender, or you could put it on the back of a pickup if you wanted, I suppose. And then inside of it, it's got one little button right there. And you push this button either real quick, and then you get a blue light that comes on that tells you it's on. And that stays on until you shut it off. And I haven't quite mastered that yet. When I hit it like real, it takes about 15 seconds for it to go off. So I'll let it sit there. But I plugged this in to the truck today, and I took the lights into the cab, and I hit the blinkers, came on. Hit the brakes, they came on, So we had to go pick up a cow today. We picked up a cow about 4 o'clock this afternoon. And so I tried them out for the first time, and if they work the way they work today, I've got a winner here. I've got an absolute winner for what we paid for these. And then if they're serviceable, which means if they last, and they work for a long period of time, they looked well built. The lights are actually rechargeable. And according to the instruction circular there, they're supposed to go for 8 hours, right? 8 hours. And, they're LED, so they don't use much energy. And I figure I'm going to take them off every time, put them back in the carrying case, and just put them in the truck. And we'll see. But for right now, I think this is a good thing, because you can imagine if you have 5 trailers and you say, okay, I'm going to hook up a trailer to go get some steel, and you hook the lights up, they don't work. Because trailer lights are just cheap, they're just cheap. and you got a bulb out, or there's a bad connection, or the plug is too rusty and you got to cut it and put a new plug on it, something like that. So it's a constant struggle with trailers. At least it has been for me. But now if this works, I will just be able to take all the trailer lights off and just use these, which I think I will do, because I only have one trailer right now where the lights, I think, are functional. But of course, when I plug them in, they might not be. That's just the way it is with trailer lights. I don't know if anybody else has those trouble, but we have forever. Maybe I just don't buy good trailer lights, but I don't think they really make good trailer lights. I don't know. Maybe they do. Who's with us? Dion's with us, fooling around with that boar. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I was going to make a video today. One of my sows had 10 babies, and I knew she was ready to pop, but I just didn't get around to checking her. And I went out and checked, I think, Saturday evening. And as close as I could get, I could count like 10 little noses, and they were all up looking at me. So I'm not exactly sure when they came. And the next time I made it out was today, which is Tuesday. And they were all up and running around, 10 of them, just beautiful. Mom made a nice nest. We had vicious rain on Saturday. You guys may have seen that in the weather. North of us, it was cold. They got iced in bad, really bad. Some of the towns up there just looked like devastation. Trees down everywhere, power lines down. They're not going to have power for quite a long time. And from what I'm hearing from a friend of ours whose husband works in that business, this area is in the crosshairs for tonight, and it's supposed to start raining about 3 o'clock this morning. Right now, the temperature is 30. Yeah, it's 30 right now. So it's below freezing, and it's supposed to start raining at 2 a.m. And by 2 a.m., it's going to be 27. And then it's going to start raining in earnest about 8 a.m. and go till 5, according to this. So we might be in for it. So I'm kind of battening things down and making sure everybody's taken care of before tonight. But anyway, I was making this video, and I got a boar in there, and his name is Copperhead. I got him from the Copperhead farm, and he's turned out to be kind of mean. We just haven't had a lot of contact with him, and he's got tusks on him that are about that long. And every time you go in there, he starts moving your direction. And today, when I was trying to make this video, he came and he started coming fast, and I had to drop my phone and then whack him with a shovel. I don't go in there without something in my hands. But anyway, it wasn't much of a video, but I did get to show what an aggressive boar looks like. And, it's not like around here I'm going to knock him down because he's aggressive. They have their area. It's very secure. No one goes in there. We have plenty of feed for them. There's plenty of forage in there for them. I have so much old hay that I dumped in there that they are happy in their little world. And now one of the sows has babies, and there's another one coming. So, it's not a big deal. It's not like we go in and pet them or anything like that. We go in and service the fences. That's about it. And with Mr. Boar in there, it's just probably going to be a 2-man job. You just got to have somebody go in with a shovel or a rake or something that can push him back, or if need be, put a whack on him. I had to whack him today. I actually had to whack him with the shovel. And you don't hit him softly. You don't hit him softly. You got to hit him pretty hard in order for him to back away. Because if you just push on him, he'll push on you, and then he'll decide to make a run at you, and they can cut you up bad. I'm not really trying to scare anybody about Mangalitsa production or anything, but every now and then you just get an aggressive boar, and we're going to deal with it. The alternative, if I had to, I would have to just do away with him, and I have another boar that I'm wanting to sell right now, and I would just have to keep him. But old Copperhead's done right by us, so he can stay. He can stay around for a while. Maybe he'll mellow out when it gets warm. I know I'm kind of grumpy sometimes when it's like it was today. Bright sun. You could kind of feel the sun on you, but then this icy wind would cut you in two if you stood out too long. And we were out all day, and so no one was in the house, and the fire went out, and so we just started it, and that's why I'm sitting here with my jacket on. It got down to 59 in the house. So, product review, so far, I like them. I went through the manual to try and figure out where they were made, and I could not determine where they were made. I couldn't. It might be made in Springfield, Ohio. Who knows? You just don't know. I don't know if it really matters. It's got American writing on it, but maybe they do that just to fool you. Probably doesn't mean anything. All right. So around here today, we actually made a lot of headway. We are done butchering for the year, large animals, and now we have this lull until I think the 23rd of April when we start chickens, and it looks like it's going to be a pretty heavy year because there was a processor north of us about an hour that was forced to go out of business by their insurance company. Their insurance company wouldn't cover them, which I think is pretty sad. I'm sure they could have worked around it, but they didn't want to. So let's see who's with us. I want to talk about Team. I got a couple stories about Team. We got Dion's with us. Chris Heitsuman. And Keith, and our Abundant Living wellness coach. It appears like we have 9 people with us, but I don't know about this counter. I really don't know. You guys give us the thumbs up. Let's try and make something of this on this platform. Let's try and do something with this. I got a new sense of purpose in doing this. From time to time, I hear things come back at me that make me feel like this is well worthwhile, spreading this information. And we've had several instances this year already of people being kind of leaned on by the Department of Agriculture, and I don't know what more I can say about that. I keep trying to tell you that they're irrelevant, that they don't have any authority on your private property, and they always use lies to try and coerce you into getting into their game or under their authority voluntarily. It's by contract that you do that. And I try to tell you, just don't do it. Just don't get in a contract with them. But then they say, well, this could escalate very fast, or this could turn out bad for you, things like that. And I say, just ignore it and just tell them, please leave. And that's the end of it. You're operating as a private business, and you don't need their license to do what we're doing. We're just farming, right? It seems kind of ludicrous to me in a way. It's absurd, actually, that with the things that are happening in the world, and you have families that are trying to create something good, true, and beautiful, that there are entities out there that are paid to lean on you. It's absurd. Why don't they just go find something else to do? Go dust or something. But no, they got to keep it up. And I try to counsel people on it, but we've had a lot of people lately that have sought our counsel, but then in the end capitulated because they can't handle the fear, and they give in. And then things start going downhill for them because then you actually work for them and they get to dictate how you do business. And they always drive people into the ground, always. So I think that the best way to preserve small farming is to just spread the word on what works and what doesn't work. And so tonight I want to talk about something that's worked really well for us. And I'm able to title it now. When it started, it was just what was happening. We were doing our thing and people kind of came to us for information, and then we went to them for help and they came to us for help, and so on and so on. And I guess the best way to title it is team. And I go back to a movie that I saw 30 years ago, at least. It was The Untouchables with Kevin Costner and Robert De Niro. I don't really like Robert De Niro, but he did play a really good Al Capone. So this was all about, organized crime and bootlegging and all this stuff. And they were going after Capone for a lot of things, but they finally got him on tax evasion. And there was a scene in that movie, if you've ever seen it. If you haven't, kind of look it up. You could probably do a YouTube search of Untouchables Teamwork. And Al Capone is hosting, I guess, a staff meeting is the way it looks. Big round table, and all his lieutenants are sitting around the table, and they're going to be having all this food. They're Italians, so a lot of spaghetti on the table and stuff, wine and everything. And he's walking around the outside of the table, and he says, he's giving like a pep talk, like a CEO would give a pep talk to his frontline guys. And he says something about teamwork, team. And everybody at the table is petrified of him. And they're all kind of trained to say, team. Yeah, team. We're a team here. But evidently there was somebody in that council, his frontline lieutenants, that was not a team player. He was playing as an individual. And so Al Capone took a baseball bat and murdered him right there. And it was a pretty tough scene, but true. Teamwork is essential. It's essential. And when my kids were little, when we first moved here, starting this off, we were trying to find our way. And a lot of times there was discouragement. It didn't seem like life was going like it should. And well, I'd come out of the Air Force, and the Air Force is really organized. They have a good process, and everybody knows what they're supposed to do, and you get your work done, and we put a product out that's good, that's efficient, and then you go on to your life, fun and stuff. Well, when we got here, we tried that, but we didn't really have a good process. And so I used to say to my kids when they get discouraged, around the table, it wasn't like a staff meeting or anything, but I'd say, we're a team. And then I'd try to get them to say back to me, yeah, team. And I'd say team. And they'd say team. And I'd kind of trained them. And there was a couple of times when I think about all of them were discouraged, and I would have to take them aside and pep them up a little bit. And I'd say, team. And they'd say, team, team, team. Okay, team. And it just was funny to me. So just a funny story, but team. So you're running a homestead or a farm, and you have your processes in place, but you can't do everything well. So some stuff you need to farm out. And I think we all farm stuff out. What I mean by that is you contract someone else to do stuff for you. Like, say, someone else refines oil and makes gasoline, and you buy the gasoline from them. I don't make my own gasoline here. Not yet. Not yet. So you do build a team, but where I buy gasoline, it's the Sunoco, right? And so if something went wrong here, I couldn't call the cashier at the Sunoco. I actually don't even go in because they use a card, plug it in the pump, and then pump the gas. So I don't even know who I'd call. But if something went wrong and I called down there and said, hey, I need some help down here, it wouldn't happen. So that's sort of a no-go, right? That's a no-go as opposed to a go, right? Let's see, how can I explain that? Like a one-way valve, water can flow through one way, but it can't flow back the other way, right? So I can go and spend my money with them. They give me the gasoline, which is good. It's really good. But it ends right there. It ends. That's it. But I think, and what I've experienced is the team, or who I choose to call my team, it works both ways. It works both ways. And sometimes it can be really informal, but sometimes it can be formal, like, hey, we're going to, and I can give you a great example of this. I had to go to Spears again today, Spears Auto. I do lots of business with them, and they do lots of business with me. And what we have come to is a ledger, right? So Jill keeps a ledger. So there needs to be trust, right? But who wouldn't trust Jill, right? So I had to pick up a repair today. My Ford needed a new starter motor in it. And so I can do it, but they can do it better. They got a lift. They get better deal on parts. And I got enough to do without changing the starter motor on a Ford truck, right? Maybe one of these days I will be able to, but right now I have a lot to do on the farm. So I just called John and said, hey, this truck needs a starter motor and it needs a couple other things. Can you come get it? So he comes, gets it, takes it. And calls me, hey, your truck's ready to go. All right. So I go down there today to get it. They print me out a invoice. The invoice comes home and I give it to Jill. She enters it in the ledger. And I didn't even look at it. I don't know how much it was. Conversely, they don't have time to butcher their own pigs. So the other day, John was like, hey, can I bring a pig? I said, yep. So he, over his house, very easy, to the pen, shoot the pig, pick it up with the, swing it onto the deck, bring it over here, drop it off. We work on it, had it ready for him in less than a week. And then I needed to go over there for something else. So I brought it, got it loaded in the freezer. And that invoice, I don't think I even gave it to him, but we still have it, goes and is put into the ledger. So there's all these line items And eventually it gets reconciled, probably quarterly, and then there's a number on it. And it could be plus bakers or it could be negative bakers. So we could either owe or they could owe us, but we're not going to stress over it because we're a team. We're a team. We are talking about other things that we want to do. Like he's in business, I'm in business. You know, he might say, hey, I'm going to buy another auto lot. And I would be, that's not something that I'm real concerned with. But he might say, hey, I'm going to buy an auto lot and I want to put a little area there where we can have like a store to put stuff in. Now that sounds good to me. But I got to think, does that benefit him? Right? If we're a team, I'm looking out for him and he's looking out for me, right? Because I want that. I want his services. I want them. I need his services. He wants my services and needs my services. So we're going to continue this. I want to continue this. But let me tell you some of the other things that comes out of just this one thing. And I see Sean Kelly's here too. Team. I see Keith Sutton here. Team. I went there to pick the truck up, and this truck, I've owned it for 30 years. And when it's wet and cold, it doesn't like to start, right? And I know it needs a new distributor. I've been going to do it for 20 years or so, but I just haven't got around to it. So I'm there, I'm trying to start it. It won't start. So I open the hood, let it get some sunlight and some air to dry it out a little bit. I'm just sitting there waiting. One of the drivers comes over, one of his tow truck drivers, which, you know, we're pretty friendly, get along pretty good. He's helped me out quite a bit. I've helped him out. He's part of John's team, so he's part of my team, you know. He comes over, he's just talking with me for a little while, and then John comes over, we start talking. Then we started talking about something. I don't need to go into it really because it's, well, maybe I will. It was the living conditions of one of his guys, right? And the guy's young and trying to find his way and maybe not spending his money the best way. But how does he know? There's nobody to guide him. So John's hitting him with information and I'm hitting him with information, say, hey, maybe this would be better than this. You know, maybe you could do this. Maybe. And so he gets to thinking. And then he throws something out and then back and forth, you know, it's almost like we had a little council meeting right there. And everybody, the truck started, and everybody kind of walked away from it with like, hey, I got an idea. Hey, I want to do this. I want to do this. But I think more than that, everybody realizes that, hey, I'm not an expert at everything. If I need help with this, that's the guy that can help me. And I think being part of a team, when you meet with the team, you are wanting to put your best forward. You want other people to know this is what I have to offer. And they're saying, yeah, and I got this to offer. And I got this to offer. See? Now, the alternative to that, like, because his driver, Rob is his name. Nice guy. I've got to know him. He comes here and gets bread and stuff. He's raising a family and stuff. Just regular guy, blue collar guy. He took my advice on eating. Like he was a little overweight and, you know, having some health issues and stuff. And I just laid it on the line. And for some reason, he he had probably heard from John that you should listen to him. You should listen to him. And I don't know that for sure, but I probably. And he started eating right. And so he was going on and on about just eating from our store instead of getting the cheapest stuff he could find at Walmart, which is what he was doing for a long time, like most of his life. And just going through all that, just saying, yeah, I lost a lot of weight. I feel really good. I'm going to keep it up and na. And so we're looking at this guy, a new guy, young, and thinking, we need to help him. We need to help him. We need to give him everything we can in order to be a productive man. Not just you get your $18 an hour and get to work and get off your phone and quit doing this and quit doing that. No, it needs to be, okay, you do your job here. You do your job. You do a good job. But what can we give you? What can we tell you is a way to go that's going to get you where we are, right? We own a home, and like I have a farm, and I have direction, and this guy's sort of rudderless right now, as you are when you're young. And I just felt like, okay, this is a team where everybody benefits instead of the one-way valve where you give them your money, you get what they give you. And that's it. You can't call Walmart and say, hey, I got a tree fell down on my carport. Can anybody come over and help me? No one's going to come. No one's going to come. So these informal teams remind me a lot of the way that we're farming. Okay, stay with me. That might be like this. Next thing he's going to do is start talking about compost piles. No, the way we're farming, which is, I think it is, I'm quite sure it is the design. Like, this is all by design. None of this just kind of big bang just kind of happened. It's, billions and billions of years. Of course, eventually you're going to have a red barn, I don't think so. I think there's a design here for procuring sustenance, right? What we need to live from the earth that we've been given. I believe that. And when that was designed, companies like Monsanto were not part of the equation. They were not part of the equation. But over time, they have injected themselves in and to become part. And I'm not throwing stones at only Monsanto. And, I don't want to hurt their feelings or anything. They're in business, and that's what you do when you're in business. So they changed the equation to say that, as you farm your land, you're constantly depleting. And eventually you need to buy our product to put it back there to replete it. And I don't think that's the way the design is, because I can cut the grass off my fields to make hay. I can feed it to the cows. The cows make milk and manure. The manure can be managed and put back on the fields, or we can graze the cattle, and it needs to be a combination of both, in my opinion. And the fertility of the field increases every year, because in that equation, there is also sunlight, rain, snow, wind, and then the biological action of all the little beings that live in that field. So me as Adam and Jill as Eve, if we manage this properly, it gets better in time. And I believe it is the same thing with a team. So we're in 2025 right now, but let's fast forward the tape to 2030. And these young guys that we're working with, I mean, it's not like they're exactly counseling me, but they are towing my vehicles. They are fixing my vehicles. You know, they're doing for me for sure. And I'm doing for them as far as food and, you know, helping them out with advice and know-how and things like that. I mean, whatever they need, they're going to get. But fast forward the tape 5 years, and let's say this young guy he's got his own house, and he's got a little homestead going, and he's not going to the store to buy any pork. He's not going to the store to buy any chicken, any beef. Maybe he gets himself a milk cow, and he's able to provide milk for his children. Yeah, he's still working his job, but his paycheck is going to go a lot further than it is if he's paying rent on a dump and buying all of his food and everything else that he's got to buy. And then he's got nothing at the end of the month. Well, at the end of 60 years, what will he have? You know, if you don't manage it correctly, you'll have nothing. But if you manage it well and take advantage of the gift of this environment that we've been given to live in, I think you can do really well. And now some people would be in a completely different line of work and they would not be into farming. It just so happens that we are, and everybody that's here is probably. And there would be other opportunities that would come as a team. You know, like maybe if we were mobsters and we were, you know, bootlegging whiskey, there's definitely benefits to teamwork. Now, how do we get there? How do we get there? Can anybody be on your team? Well, I don't think so. I don't think so. See, some people would not want to be on this team. You know, I got friends that I grew up with that are in the construction business and in the road paving business and this and that. They're not interested in this. But if they were, that would be okay. But I don't know how they could help me exactly. I mean, we're really separated by a long distance. So not everybody would fit in with this, I don't think. So can anybody be on the team? No, I don't think so. You can't just take, you know, hard times. That would change things. But in the United States right now, we're not exactly on hard times. You know, if you watch documentaries like I watch a lot of documentaries about World War II and World War I and things like that. I don't know, it just calms me down for some reason. I don't know why. And you see cities that were absolutely devastated. That's hard times. And those people are starving. They got no water. They got no place to sleep. That's hard times. We don't have that here. If anything, we're a little on the overfed side, right? But bad things come from that too. We have people that are not serious about farming. They're kind of just spinning their wheels, you know, they're just not serious about it. Or they're distracted constantly. I would say that. And they can't focus on this whole team concept. You know, they see, I know one guy that saw it as what he could get out of it, but he never really wanted to put anything back in. You know, he never really wanted to be a team player. He just wanted to come when there was stuff for him to get. But then other than that, he's gone. You wouldn't see him. And so do you want that guy on your team? No, probably not. So you don't pursue it. It's not like you got to send them a letter and say you're off the team. You just don't pursue that. But what I find you need to do is you need to think about the people that come into your circle and say, that guy's good for something. I don't know what, but he's good for something. No, you usually know what somebody's good for. And it might be fellowship too. It might just be your friends, and it doesn't have to be formal. And I think the older people need to foster it. They need to be a little bit more gracious when people make mistakes. When you've got a good team player and they make a mistake, I don't know. People usually know when they've screwed up. You don't need to rub their nose in it or anything. But so I think teamwork needs to be fostered. And I guess what I'm talking about here is your immediate team. And I have a tendency to, when I'm talking to somebody, think, I wonder if this would be a good guy for the team, And it's very easy to make a pitch, say, hey, I don't really need, like I have all this bread, and I've been putting it in bins and putting $20 on it. And now it's going. When I was giving it away for free, I couldn't give it away. So now it's going, and you come across a guy and you say, hey, I don't really need the $20, but what about you just take all you need and let's just keep track of it, sort of. And if I need some insulating done, but fair trade. I don't want any favors, just fair trade. And that works. Then you get closer in the relationship with that guy, and they start to realize, hey, there's a lot here that I could use, and these guys could help me, I could help them, and then we get closer. That's community. But I don't think it just happens on its own. It definitely happens in hard times, but isn't it better to have a team before all the trees have fallen over? It's much better that way. So that's my message for tonight. I got to see it in real time today. I got to see it earlier this week. Keith Sutton showed up here. He needed something. Brought me something, just something. And he's kind of always there if I need him. And he's really helped me out with a lot of good scrounge. And we'll do anything for him as well, and we know that. And same thing. I'd see the Stumpos here. I see Crunchy Mamas. I wish they lived closer. I am not letting Frank go to live out in Texas. Not happening. Who else we got? All right, so that's that. I wanted to get that off my chest. I think it's probably the most important thing. The most important thing of this whole thing. And the whole resistance movement. What am I trying to accomplish for the Department of Ag to say, yeah, we're not doing what we're supposed to do, so we're just going to close the doors and let's give all this tax money back? No, we need to just do what we're going to do, get strong, get healthy, get a good, tough community going, and then we become impervious to their baloney, because they got no authority on private property. That's the bottom line. And our businesses are private. So we should just be blowing it off instead of always like responding to their baloney. I don't think it's going to get fixed that way. I think it's going to get fixed when they realize that we should not fool around with these people. We'll go play with somebody else. We'll go mess with somebody else. So anyway, that's that's really it. That's what I had to say tonight. That's my massage. Has anybody got any? Yeah, Keith says team. Right, team. Anybody got any input for me tonight? Let's see. Was I going to say something? Oh, storm tonight. I hope not. Ice storms are bad. On the milking front, I tell you what, I think it's one of the best things that we've ever done is building a dairy. One of the best things we've ever done. And before that, I would have said, "Oh no, the butcher shop. That's the biggest moneymaker, the biggest sustainer." I think maybe sometimes when I say moneymaker, people get the idea that I'm just counting up the dollar bills. That's not really what it is. It creates a flow of money that comes through here, and we need it. For big gasoline and other things like that you can't barter for. And so you do need that. But if you can trim off other things, then that flow of money, you're not dipping into that flow of money for those other things. And that really works out good. I tell you what, I just bought another cow today. We just brought her home. We actually made the deal on her last week. I think Friday we went and looked at her. And again, team. I'll tell you how this happened. There's a family locally to us, and the wife is kind of trying to get a herd share together. They're milking 2 cows, and she's got it going. She's got milk going out. While I was there today, 2 people wheeled in, went and got their milk and split. And she had some problems with breeding back one of their cows. And I was having the same problems. I called Carrie Kronk at Copperhead because they're good researchers. I don't know if they've been milking as long as we have, probably not. But they're a good team, just the 2 good team. And they've really gotten into it and know a lot about milking. So I called her and I was like, what do you think I ought to do? I tried to breed this cow 3 times and she hasn't taken. And she had a list of things that, well, we had that problem, do this, this, and this. So that day, I did those things. And then I got a message from this other family about their cow. Like, I can pass this on. So I said, hey, let's talk. So we talked on the phone. And at the end of the phone call, I said, hey, if you ever want to see how we're doing it here, by all means, just call and let somebody know that you want to come and be shown how it happens. Well, that Sunday I was milking and my phone rings and she was like, I know this is last minute, but could we just come and see how your dairy works? Hey, when I finished milking, yeah, no problem. So they showed 3 kids. We sat in the store and chewed the fat for a little while. They're kind of refugees from downstate. Wanted to get out of the rat race and moved up here, bought a little farm, and are really making a good go of it. I mean, it's not easy, and you could see it on their faces that they needed a little relief. And so I talked with them for a while, showed them the dairy and stuff, and they left. And a month later, she rings the phone and says, are you still looking for a cow? Because we bought 3 and we really only need 2. And the 3rd one is supposed to calf in April. And, are you interested? So we went and looked at her and she was like, perfect. It wasn't a Guernsey. It was a Jersey, but it was good. I like Guernseys. I like Jerseys too. We've had good luck with both. And we'll breed her back to a Guernsey. So we'll have a Guernsey, I guess is what you would call it. And I have 2 of them already, and I really like them. So we're at 9 Well, I shouldn't say 9 cows. I get 8 cows and 2 heifers. And one of the heifers is going to calf in May, on or about May 1st. So then she'll be a cow. And the other one's a young heifer, and she won't be calving for quite a while. So I think we're going to, when we get to about 10, I think that's going to be, we want to just kind of stay there for a little while, fill everything in, just hone everything to a sharp, clean edge, get everything working right, get used to it. And if we decide to expand at that point, we will. But I don't know if we'll need to. I just don't know if we need to. I really want to. They say that rich people save time and poor people save money. So define a rich person. It's a person that's got enough to meet their needs, and then they have time off to do the fun things they want to do. Even if the time off, they like to work. I find work kind of fun. If I'm making something, I think it's fun. So that's what I like to do. So I consider myself a rich person, but I do like to save time so I can work more. No, but the kids like to do stuff, and Jill likes to do stuff. We all like to work, but we do like to fish, and we like to go to the beach and go camping and stuff. Oh, that's another thing. So John got a motor home. A lady this weekend. A lady needed it fixed. A lady bought it that's 5 hours away, and she bought it off a guy here in Cadillac. It's a 1976 Ford 1-ton chassis van with a camper on the back. I think I've showed it to you guys. I got a picture of it if you want to see it. It's a 1976, and we were over there looking at something else, a truck for Jim. That's another story. But we're over there looking at it, and I saw this camper, and I went over and looked at it close, and the thing was in really good shape for as old as it was. And so I asked John about it, and he says, well, the lady wanted us to fix it, and so we did, but then she didn't want it, and so she just sent us the. So then he sold it to one of the guys that works for him, Blaze. And so Blaze owned it. And so I asked Blaze if he wanted to sell it, and he said, yeah. And Blaze made a little money on it, and he sold it to me, and I got it for $1,500. Now it's old. It's a 1976, but it's in good shape. And I think, like, no leaks. Let's see if I can do it. Huh. There we go. How's that? That's a pretty good picture right there. Got no leaks. And everything on the inside was really taken good care of. It was really babied. It's got shag carpet from 1976 in it that, I'll tell you what, we could just vacuum it and it'd be fine. And they put mouse proofing in it and all that stuff. No leaks, like I said. Everything works, I think. I don't know about the air conditioner and the furnace yet. I'm going to have to look at that, but I can't see why it wouldn't work. But it runs, drives, stops, all that stuff. It's only got 70,000 miles on it. So I'm going to get it home, and I want to have it fixed up and ready to go for the Mitten Homestead, which is coming up this summer. I don't know what the date is on the Mitten Homestead, but I went last year, and it was really good. It was really good. And I've, conferences, farm conferences, they're all over the place now. And it's a big thing, and all the big names go, and I'm not really interested in doing that. First of all, I don't want to leave the farm for a whole lot of time to go someplace and stay in a hotel and all that stuff. And I don't know. What's the point? What's in it for me, really, is what I have to think. When I lose time away from the farm to go, say, to, I don't know, Louisiana to do a farm conference, and they might pay a little bit, but it's not worth what I lose in life, flying on airplanes and staying in hotels, unless they're really going to pay me, and I'm not the guy that they want to do that with. But the Homestead conference in my state, that's just south of me, an hour and a half, those are the people that I live around. They live around me, I live around them. So I think it's important for me to go to that. Plus, it's fun. And this year I'll have my own camper that I can go in. Kind of nostalgic, I like that. And, because if I was going to get one that I would say drive out to Texas, they're expensive. They're expensive. And they don't build them like they used to, I don't think. I think this one is built solid. And I can put a little paint on it and maybe put some custom Baker's Green Acres logo on the side or something. And it's got a really neat deck coming off the back. I'm going to extend it out so I can wheel my motorcycle up on there and strap it down. Yeah. We're planning one trip with it this summer. And then if we decide to go on to the back 40 and camp out, me and Jill, just to kind of get away from the farm, but not really, that would be fun. So I've always kind of wanted one, but never really wanted to go seriously look at them because they are so expensive. And it's just, to me, if I had a payment on something like that and it's already 10 years old, it seems kind of, I don't know. I would feel compelled to use it. This one, when I'm done with it, I'm going to have $2,500 in it. And if I use it once this summer, I'm okay with that. I'm fine. Maybe we'll take it to the beach. We probably will. All right, nothing else? No one have any input for me? I'm going to get going. Get ready for the storm. And let's see. No consulting call tomorrow night. If you want to get in on the consulting call, that has been super productive. And I consider those people team for sure. All right, very good thing happened. Extremely good thing happened. One of the people on the consulting call, the ghost says, Mark doing the Walter White thing. You got me on that one, Ghost. You got me. I don't know what that is. I'll have to look it up. But on the consulting call, not last Wednesday, but it would have been the one before that. Whatever. It's every other week, Wednesday, we're doing it. And when we put it together, we said we'll do it every Wednesday, but we don't have the participation that we thought we would have, which is fine because people are paying for Tribe Plus membership and then they don't take advantage of the consulting. I guess they don't need it. If they don't need it, I wouldn't come to it either, I suppose. But I was telling the group about one of the cows that we have, Cece. She's the Holstein that we have. And we got her, she had a bad foot. And we got her for nothing from a farm close by. And she was just a calf, very young. And they were just going to dispose of her. And that means they would just knock her in the head and throw her in the manure pit. What a shame. What a shame. So Jill took her, brought her home, and we made a splint for her back foot. Her back foot was knuckled under. And we straightened it. And then we splinted it. And then we had to do it again and do it again as she grew. Finally, it stayed straight, but it's always been a little bit swollen. And in the winter time, when the ground is really hard, it's difficult on her. and she gets to the point where she doesn't want to touch it to the ground. And the hoof is misshapen, and the whole hoof is swollen. It's big. But in the summertime, she's fine on it. She goes long walks with that. It was the worst we've seen it. And the kids were like, hey, this is not, she's having a rough time. We need to do something. And so we didn't breed her back because we thought, how can we do that? If she's this bad this winter, what will she be like next winter? And then if she's got a calf and we had to put her down, that's not good. So we didn't breed her back. And so it was not looking good for old Cece. She's about 7. And, but she's given us so much milk. You know, she has done so well by us. And she wants nothing. She just wants the hay pile. She's just really good animal, really love her. And so I called the vet, and the vet's a good friend of mine. And he came and he just winced when he saw her put weight on it. And he just backed up and he said, no, there's nothing we can do. She's arthritic and it's affecting her whole leg and she's in pain. You can't do this. And so that was it. I said, okay, I'm going to put her down. She's given us 4 gallons of milk a day. I couldn't put her down right then, you know, because we don't want to waste her. And I'm not just going to shoot her and let her lay there. And I couldn't do her the next day or the next day because the butcher shop was tied up. And so we brought her up as close to the barn as we could get her and put bedding down for her. And when she wasn't at the hay pile, she was just laying down, which when she lays down, she's fine. So then on the consulting call, I told this what the outcome was and what I was going to have to do and how I was not looking forward to doing this. And Ann Putnam said, oh, I think what you want to do is, and Ann Putnam she's a mechanical engineer, and her mind works that way. And she just she never sees anything as the end. You know, there's always more to it. And so she said, you're going to want to use this DSMO with this and this in it, St. John's wort and arnica in it. And so we didn't have the St. John's wort. We did have the arnica. We had to go get the DSMO. It's just a little cream thing. I got it from Tractor Supply. It's like a salve. And we put that on. Didn't see any results, you know, in 3-4 days. And then, you know, I just didn't want to put her down. I just didn't want to do it. And then all of a sudden we saw improvement. And today she's walking on it. And so we're going to continue the treatment because she could be here for 14 years. You know, she's 7 now. She's only halfway. We could cure that. Whatever it is, couldn't cure. So if she's got arthritis in that hoof, it can be cured because she's a regenerative being, and whatever is doing that can be fixed. We just have to find the way to do it. Now, I would have never discovered that if it were not for the team concept. You know, she knows more about that than I know. You know, no man is an island. So that's just a tremendous story, because I tell you what, when I go out there and I'm got my arm around old Cece and she's pumping 4 gallons of milk out a day, it's like, boy, I sure am glad I didn't have to shoot you. I sure am glad I didn't have to do that. And I hope I don't. We're really hoping for full recovery. I'm going to do something else too. I thought of it today. When she's in getting milked, I'm going to take a bucket of water in there, warm water, and I'm going to take a brush and I'm going to brush her hoof off. I'm going to get it as clean as I can. And then we're going to put that salve on there on a clean hoof, as clean as we can get it. And then I'm going to trim up her hoof, to make it look a little bit better. And just put some effort into it, and hopefully she recovers. Hopefully. I'd hate to have to do that. It's really neat. I've got, 10-ish cows, and I'm going to kind of go the opposite way that, say, a commercial dairy is, where they all have a tag in their ear, and this one is 1471. All my cows have names. And I'm going to take a picture of each one of their faces and then have Jill put it on some sort of, digitally on the computer. So it's on like a page with their names and what they are, if they're a Holstein or a Guernsey or whatever. And then like their date of birth. So it's sort of, and then I want to have that in the store so people say, oh, these are the cows. Yeah, we got a Daisy, we got Violet, we got Cece, we got Ruby, we got, and by name. Like they're like personalize the whole thing. So when people are drinking our milk, they're thinking, well, I wonder whose milk this is. This could be Cece's milk. This could be Ruby's milk. My kids all have their favorites. Yeah. So kind of neat. I mean, it's really fun and personalize it. And then I think we want to use that as a, when we start to advertise for the herd shares, have like a thumbnail print of all of their faces as part of it. So when you think about it, team, right? They're part of the team. Like without them, it doesn't happen. Like they're more important to the process than we are. We could be replaced. They can't be replaced. We can't replace them with a Chihuahua. Chihuahuas don't give that much milk. So, yeah, kind of fun. Kind of a different way to look at things. All right. Well, let's see. Okay, the ghost is just laughing at me. Very funny. I'll look up Walter White and see what that's all about. And we will see you tomorrow. The video that I made today, I got chased out of there by the boar. Yeah, I did. Okay, I'm going to end the stream now. This is Mark coming to you from Baker's Green Acres. Remember, anyone can farm. Have a good night. Stay safe.